Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for Truth show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard, you don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart, yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome back to A Time for Truth show. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff. It's a pleasure to be back with you again tonight. And we've experienced tremendous colds in New York, really record-breaking, for a few weeks. And really, that's going to be the theme of the show. No, not the cold, but the confidence that we had that our local government, institutions, utilities were going to take care of us, which they have. And that is the theme of this show. Trust, social connection, confidence, really the basis of our civilization. But what's happening? Because it's declining. In fact, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Guterres, commented that we're actually globally suffering from a trust epidemic that he sees in the United Nations itself in terms of the international relations between countries. The control of immigration, the loss of human rights, the violence that's occurring, which is really fomenting the exact issues that we want to control, to reduce. Over half of the world's population now has little or no trust in government. It's an astounding figure. This trend has been worsening from one generation to the next. And the importance of this is that we're getting a generational erosion of confidence in authority and really collaborative collective action, which is so important for our world. Less than 30% of people in countries with the available data think that most people can be trusted. A fundamental indicator of low social cohesiveness, our humanity, our collaboration. With that in mind, and with the importance of this issue, we're very honored and proud to have with us a renowned international humanitarian to address this very issue. And there you see him on the screen, Mr. Ludwig Alpers, the president of the Way Happiness Foundation International, a global nonprofit headquartered in Glendale, California, dedicated to the strengthening of character, personal responsibility, and community well-being through a practical, common-sense guide to better living that's now used in more than 190 countries globally. He was born in Bradenton, Sarasota, Florida, and he's invested his life working internationally in public service and community outreach, coordinating humanitarian community initiatives throughout the Caribbean and Latin America, organizing hundreds of charitable events each year, and directing public education campaigns, youth outreach, and media initiatives promoting respect, drug-free living, and conflict prevention. In 2022, Mr. Alpers co-founded the National Set a Good Example Day, observed annually on February 26th. This celebration encourages individuals, families, and organizations to perform visible acts of kindness, fairness, and leadership as positive examples that enable very important initiatives such as the UN Sustainable Development Goals of quality education and sustainable cities and communities. His foundation seeks to empower communities with a common sense text, The Way to Happiness, a practical guide containing 21 common sense principles such as honesty, respect, responsibility, that people of different cultures, traditions, and origins can agree upon. He regularly speaks with educators and civic leaders on a simple but yet powerful message. Communities improve, and not only through policy, but more so when individuals lead by example. By exemplifying integrity and consideration for others, each person can help create safer neighborhoods, stronger relationships, and a more hopeful future. And if you can see it in the wonderful faces of those young children smiling, the importance of this campaign. And let's bring him up live. Mr. Ludwig Alpers to A Time for Truth show. Welcome, sir.
Dr. Fialkoff, it's a pleasure again to see you, and I hope you're keeping warm in New York. It's quite balmy, beautiful, and 70 degrees in Los Angeles here, or in Glendale. So I'm happy to be here. And yeah, I'm happy to talk about what's happening in the culture today, because it's actually something that we can do something about.
Absolutely. You know, you make me very jealous. So you take my mind off of your sunny California. Let's go on with the show. I wanted to ask you, what is the purpose and how does it work?
Well, the foundation is based off of a book written in 1981 by L. Ron Hubbard. And it was a non-religious, non-political book of common sense. It took much of history and put it into one very concise volume that basically gives somebody within their hands in 73 pages of reading a common code, a compass in life, so that one can actually figure out where one's going in life and to resolve the difficulties that one has in life just by applying certain understandings. It's not a belief system. It's not a political ideology. It is basically something that you can live by and use for your betterment and the betterment of your family and the betterment of the community.
Your program is based on 21 principles. And how do you feel that this can handle what's going on? And how do you feel that the person who's going through it, what happens with that person as they read this booklet?
Well, I think a generalized statement is that people always don't follow your advice, okay? But they do follow your example, okay? And if we can get in a position as a mother or a father or a family or a community leader or a business representative of setting a good example, setting a bar of common code or a compass of living it's basically of respect, you can actually raise the bar of life, and you can actually help the community by actually just doing things. Because when you do positive actions, when you do things that affect others without them even knowing or watching, because when we come to respect and we come to helping your community, you have to do it all the time. And you have to be of a certain character to develop not only your abilities as a person and the effectiveness of it, but those abilities around you and the people around you. Because if you don't have a solid background of friends or community that are thinking like-mindedly, or having a similar code of conduct, well, then you can't operate well. So this book actually calms an area because it gives somebody a tool to not only help themselves, but to help their community or help others by giving them a simple guide in life, which is not complicated. And people don't have to believe it. They just have to apply it and see what happens. Because reality comes from the application and the success in life. And if you find that this benefits you, you should apply it. And that way you have a tidal wave of activities that occur by making good choices.
Well, you know, it makes a lot of sense to me because I actually experienced it about a year ago now at the United Nations where you spoke, and there were many religious leaders, many international political figures, and other types of leaders, and all of them really commented on the booklet that you brought. It was beautiful with a dove on the outside and the way to happiness. So, you know, I got a lot of positive feedback, which I was very happy about, because that was the purpose. It was the International Day of Living Together, trusting each other, and it created a great impact. And so, you know, I want to read something that I think is very important with our show that came from really the dictionary and the definition of trust: to allow someone to have, use, or look after someone or something of importance or value with confidence. Very interesting, like looking after your children, your wife, doing a surgery for you, you trust the surgeon, you know, a political leader that you can entrust with the country. And it's very interesting where it came from. The derivation came really from the Middle English and the Old Norse, traust, strong. And I thought about it, it's very interesting, because what does trust do? It makes a strong community because there's a lot of interaction, a lot of bonding. So I wanted to ask you, please comment on that, because I see that this booklet establishes a lot of common values to bring that about. Is that true?
Yeah, because this has to do with trust in oneself. Because if you know yourself, you can then know others. But if you don't know yourself, then it's hard to understand others. I mean, the first point you look at in life is that introspection of, okay, who am I and what am I doing? Am I living by a code? Am I living by trying to do unto others as you would want done to yourself? Or knowing when one errs by knowing that, well, I wouldn't want that done to me, so why should I do it to others? Now, this golden rule has been around for centuries and centuries and centuries, because it's a common denominator of what you think is right and wrong. So when you start first at the foundation of an individual, he's building respect. He's building respect in himself by doing what he says he's going to do and treating others as he would want to be treated. So if you get this idea, if there's a moral decay, or there's, I hate to even use that word, but if there's a character decay of society today, it's not because we have a lot of information. We've got tons of information. It's basically what's happening with the individual, and can he trust his fellow man for that information? So the trust factor is key, you know, but how do you build trust? Well, first thing you got to do is you got to be trustworthy. And what does that mean today? That means fulfilling your obligations. That means doing something to others, or raising your children the way you should be raised, or respecting your parents and helping them, or not being being tolerant, showing respect of others, or even, you know, taking care of your own self. Because when you don't take care of yourself, that means somebody else has to do it some way. So when you take care of your own self, it shows respect for yourself, and it shows respect for your others, because you're taking responsibility for your own body and your condition. So, but it's a way of building. You're building character. And this character is key to building a community. Because if you can build a community, you have to have it by individuals, and it's their actions that they do that make the community better or worse. So it starts with an individual. It starts with a child. It starts with a family. It starts with the community, and it builds up from there by doing things that are, respectful. Let's just say that, and trustworthy.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting because there's a video that you sent, and it's one of your public service announcements of the way to happiness. And engineer, let's put that first video on, please.
Oh, hey, look, that's my sister. Hey, Nicole, isn't your dad supposed to be here? He's coming. He promised. I trust him.
Showtime, guys. 1 minute.
Well, you know what? That one really impacted me. And so, you know what? I want to watch the next one you sent because I'm very curious. So, engineer, let's put on the next public service announcement.
She's hot, but I'll have her as my wife. Man, look at this guy. Well, what are you gonna do, kid? Go home. It's hopeless. Yeah, dude, do something with your life. Leave. You're looking stupid, man. Give it up.
Wow. All I got to say, Mr. Alpers, is wow.
Yeah, those are beautiful. And the entire book is beautiful because, as you can see, the last one was set a good example. And by doing that, you affect the entire community, because if you can set a good example, always somebody's watching. You never know when they're watching, but there's always going to be somebody watching. So you, an individual, can do something tomorrow to set a good example to your employees or to your employer or to your children, and watch the change, because the change will happen because what you're doing is you're influencing them. And we're going to never influence people by policy or government rule or anything like that. It doesn't influence the person. People influence others, and they watch those good influences. So they see the good influence and they change. And they also can see the bad influence. And that's where we have a problem, because people do not set a good example. So just this simple act, okay, is just very simple of doing something that sets a good example. And that's why on February 26th, which is around the corner here, that day is set for National Set a Good Example Day. And I worked and co-founded that with a very dear friend, Lori Jessup. And we co-founded the day to basically bring back common sense, bring back some decision that you can make in your environment to make it better. And for a child, it could be making his bed. It could be opening the door. It could be picking up the garbage. It could be going to grandma's house and giving her a big hug. Or it could be cleaning up a park, or somebody opening the door for someone. These are just simple acts, because it's these cultural, you would say, actions, these simple cultural actions that have existed in every culture that were great. When we lose those actions, when we lose these behavioral patterns, we lose civilization. And I think you can see him today, the guy that just does whatever he wants to because he wants to and he can affect somebody. He's setting a bad example. But he could also, make sure, it's, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to do anything, but you just have to do something that would be humane and actions of kindness and respect. And these things, if it was done around the world, which it is being done on February 26th, will change the world and will change it for a better way.
Absolutely. This is exactly what the UN Secretary General Guterres was commenting on, that we need to have, that concerns him tremendously, and is someone who's in charge of the organization on the planet to bring humanity, to bring collaboration, to make a good example. This program really sets a standard. It's beautiful, the fact that it's for anyone. It's based on common sense. I want to show something because you're such a creative leader, and you set this good example. Engineer, you know what? Let's put on the song. Let's put on that song that we have that Mr. Alpers has created for the way to happiness. Okay, Victor.
There's a moment we all stand in between what is and what could be.
Every day we make a choice in quiet ways, and every voice, what we take, what we give back, every step a forward track. No one told us life was easy, but we learn what matters most. Respect the life we're living now, protect the trust we're giving most. We've seen anger break the ground, we've seen kindness turn it round. Truth still matters, hands still heal. What we do is what feels real. Care for those who walk beside you, guard the weak, defend the young. Freedom grows when conscience leads, and justice rises one by one. No one's perfect, that's okay, but we can choose a better way. What we build with open hands becomes the future of our land. This is the way we lift each other. This is the way we stand as one. Live with care, live with honor. Every choice a brighter sun. This is the way, simple and true. Accomplish for the things we do. Step by step, come one day. This is the way to happiness. Fair beyond the trust. Do what's fair because we must. Don't destroy what others need. Let restraint be strength indeed. Be productive, earn your keep. Promises of vows we keep. Respect beliefs, though not the same. Peace is born when none we shame. Sometimes hope is hard to find when the world feels far behind. But history shows us every time change begins in heart and mind. Not with force and not with fear, but living right when no one's near. Flourish, grow, and pass it on. That's how tomorrow's built and strong. We don't need a perfect plan, just a code we understand. Do no harm, do some good. Leave things better than we could. This is the way we lift each other. This is the way we stand as one. Live with care, live with honor. Every choice a brighter sun. This is the way, simple and true. Accomplish for the things we do. Step by step, come one day. This is the way to happiness.
Not our
Wow.
rule book.
Amazing. Lo puede quitar. Wow.
Just comes.
Very, very nice. You know what? I could listen to that on and on and on. The words are exact, perfect. We're getting near the end of the show. Everything that's wonderful always seems to go that way. So it's February 26th. The people who want to get in contact with you, who should they email or call or whatever?
Well, if they go on to national calendar days, there is February 26th, National Set a Good Example. And on that is a web page on the day that gives them instructions on what they can do. And it's very important because we need to video these things. We need to post them. We need to show what you do. You can do them, and you should do many things, but also video one or two and send it on social media. Send it on Facebook, send it on Instagram, send it on TikTok, because this also is a way of changing culture for the better. And we need to continue to do good things and show good things and why we do good things so that others can emulate that and follow. So February 26th is your day. It's your day to create whatever you want to do that sets a good example. We would love to see it, because this is from cleaning up parks and cleaning up elderly homes to doing all sorts of projects. You're welcome to, and then send us in. And then we also have a school program, which is basically a competition that will last through another 6 months, but it'll be a video, it'll be a contest for painting or drawing, and a contest for an essay on what is the best essay that sets a good example, or what is the most short 30 to 90 second video that shows the most setting a good example. And there's prizes for the school, and the grand prize is actually here in Los Angeles and Hollywood, where we'll bring the regional winners to actually come to Hollywood, go to Disneyland, be judged by, I was just with some NBA players, retired NBA players. They're going to judge the contest and be part of it, and come and show what you can do to set a good example. And if you're a national winner, there's a prize money, there's all kinds of things. It's basically a national movement to set a good example. And anybody can do it, and schools are welcome, boys and girls clubs are welcome, scouting organizations are welcome, all these things to actually just set a good example. Let's do it.
Absolutely. You know what? It's been a great show. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. I'd like to go for another few hours. But you know, what you're presenting actually also addresses the spiritual malaise that Secretary Kennedy mentioned on his last video. And this hits right at it. He said the importance of our spirituality, our collaboration, and trusting each other. So you know what? Thank you so much, Ludwig Alpers. And thank you for the Way to Happiness International. For all you watching, let's set a good example. February 26th is the day, but let's do it the whole year. Let's make this a great world. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Fialkoff.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet